I'm going to focus on defense. I'm going to focus on defending our legs from neutral. We're going to get into a lot of different positions. There's going to be some basic ones. There's going to be some ones you may have seen before. I'm just going to try to give you little cues and things that will help you along that way. So we're going to start out from the most basic, and we're going to work up into some pretty cool stuff. So I think leg attack defense is one of the most creative areas in wrestling. I think you can do some pretty cool stuff. And if you get used to defending your legs, if it doesn't freak you out, you can become a much more aggressive wrestler. So I think that's one of the areas that if you learn how to defend your legs comfortably, and if that becomes something that you enjoy in that wrestling in that area, you will really start to enjoy competing, and it won't be as you won't get as nervous. I think it's one of the best ways to eliminate nerves is become good at defense. So that's going to be kind of the next 2-hour session, just kind of looking there. And then in the afternoon session, it's going to be just a little more like a training practice. We're going to go through a lot of just moves, basic moves that we should know, attacking the legs, quick defenses, quick scores, kind of more high pace, and then we'll do a little bit of live wrestling, and then call it a day. So just make sure you're doing your best to be attentive. And my challenge to you is learn the movements fast. So the skills, if the skills don't start, the training doesn't start just when we clap our hands and we say go, and then you start working with your partner. The teaching, that's a skill, right? You watching me do something and then making yourself do it, that is a learned skill. So the faster that you can see someone do something and then you make yourself do it, the quicker that you'll be able to own that skill. All right, just because you see me do something and then you go do something doesn't mean you're doing the same thing I do, right? So if you're unfocused and if you're not thinking through exactly what you saw, and you just go just because I do a wrestling move and you do a wrestling move doesn't mean we did the same wrestling move, right? So make sure you're focusing on where my head is, what my legs are doing. If I repeat something, that means it's important. Focus on that, right? It doesn't take watching someone do something and then making yourself do it. It's all about focus. So you don't have to be an awesome athlete to put your arm in the right place on a dummy, right? If your partner is just letting you do the move, it doesn't take it doesn't take 7 or 8 years of wrestling experience to put your head on the right place, to grab the right place, to put the correct knee down. All that stuff is just focus and make yourself feel right. So that's the expectation. Let's have some fun. Let's learn some moves. I will warm you up. So let's start jogging.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're going again. Here's a couple things. Here's the cleanup. Number one, anything we do with defense, our main defensive pressures, there will be a time when we go forward for maybe a second, but our main defensive pressures are down and back. Down and back are our pressures. So nothing different with the down block. When I down block, I go down and back. I do not fall forward to a down block. I do not fall forward to sprawl. I fall back to sprawl. All right, down and back. So no falling forward. Get your lead leg back. So some of you are here. It's not your lead leg. The lead leg is the one in front. Put your weight on your back leg for just a second. You have to. That's why I want your feet flat, so your weight is distributed evenly. So that at any moment, I can take the weight off of this leg and put it back. All right? Some of you, all your weight is here, and you're like, sprung. All right, so let's go. Now, so watch what I do. All my weight came here, down block, down block, down block, down block. All right, again, let's get it. Eyes down these legs, go. Go.
That weight on the other foot. That weight, you're really great, you got it. You got it. Everybody's still extended their entire body.
All right, now we're going to, so that's a hard down block. Now we're going to alternate soft down blocks. Okay, hard down block. Partner sends a full shot, opponent sends a full shot. You hard down block with your head. Soft down block, partner fakes at your leg, maybe they do a half shot. You want to honor it, you got to honor it just in case they end up shooting, but you don't also want to overreact. So here's our soft down blocks. Our soft down blocks, we're going to alternate sides. All we're going to do is we're going to smack our stance. Our stance hands are going to turn into, we're going to smack their hand from coming in, and we're going to move, we're just going to raise that foot off the mat. So it's going to look like this. Soft down block, soft down block. So we're going to take that foot back. We're going to block the shooting hand come in. We're going to tap our toe. And we're going to keep moving. So right leg, left leg. Right leg, left leg. Soft down blocks. Here we go. Alternating sides. Go. Good, good. Remember, keep your weight distributed. Stay balanced. Good. Group 2, go. Group 3, go. Good, keep that stance. Good stance. Good stance. Use your hands too. Use your hands to block. Turn those hands over. Good stuff. And again, one more soft down block. Group 1, go. Group 2, go. Just take a little step back. Use your hands too. Use your hands. Use your hands to block. Good stuff. Last round. Full sprawl. Full sprawl. So here it is. This is what I want. I want dropping to your knees, pushing your hips into the mat. The second your hips touch the mat, I want you to explode back up to your stance. All right? So this is how we shadow wrestle our sprawl, getting used to legs back quick, smash hips, back into your stance. So it's like the beginning of a burpee. We're here, legs go down, arms go down, feet go back. And then I'm back up. Okay? So make sure what's going to happen, all right? You have to make your hips strong, you have to make your butt, you have to squeeze your butt. That's what's going to make you heavy. Your power is going to come from your hips. There is no hip muscle. The muscle that is your hip, that activates your hip, are your butt. Your butt muscle. You got to flex it. So do not be floppy. If you're flopping around, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you're super wobbly, not strong. You have to be whoa, like a diving board. When I hit, nothing jiggles, right? Everything is whoop, and then I'm done. It's a quick flex and a release. So I'm not floating. It's not sprawl. It's okay. Keep your core tight. Your butt tight, fast movement. Everything is fast. 2 steps and a sprawl all the way down. Group 1, go. All right, here's the cleanup. So here's a couple things I saw. So this is a wrestling mat. For those of you unfamiliar, this is relatively soft, so that if you hit your knee, it doesn't hurt. If I fall down on it, doesn't hurt. I hurt a little, but this is wrestling. If falling down on the mat is discouraging, you gotta get through that before you never get good. So, no need to climb down into a sprawl, right? Okay? You can't be careful. If you be careful, the sprawl isn't the sprawl. We have to throw our legs back faster than our opponent can shoot. So, we have to get to our knees. Do not get under, so that's number 1. Fly to the sprawl. Speed. Get to your knees. Number 2, knees and hips. Knees hit, then I push my hips in. I saw a couple of toes. Not going to do it. I saw a couple of knees. No hips. It's right? So, push hips in. Flatten your opponent. They try to shoot. You're going to bust their shoulders up with those hips. That's how you get heavy. This is not heavy. This is heavy. Boom. All right? Let's do it. Group 1. Go. All right, bounce and listen. Bounce and listen. You don't want too much unnecessary movement. Rocking back and forth doesn't do too much for you. Rocking your legs back like you're about to start breakdancing doesn't do too much for you. Okay? This is a dance. This is not a stance. Okay? Don't practice backing up. I saw a lot of like this, which tells me you're not preparing to be aggressive. Everything is moving. If I want to circle, I don't back out to look this way. I just move. Everything is hunting. I'm hunting them down. Where are they? He's over here. They're over here. They're up. Up. All right, hunt down your opponent. Don't play around them. Don't hopscotch them. Hunt them down. Here we go. Sense of motion, ready. Go. Circle, move. Hunt them down.
You're fine, Joe.
You got one more of those. That was much better. Aggression. Aggression. And volume. If you do a lot of moves, and you're extremely aggressive, you will get good at wrestling fast. If you're missing one of those pieces, you won't get good at fast. If you're aggressive and you create a lot of volume, if you do a lot of moves and you're very aggressive, you will get good fast. If at any moment you turn one of those off, you slow down your development. Be aggressive, do a whole bunch of moves. All right? If your moves don't work, you'll lose the match. Then you fix the moves, but you never answer the question with doing less moves. The answer to winning is never do less wrestling. So it's do more wrestling and do it harder. It's never, if you get taken down with a single leg, the answer is not run away from your opponent. The answer is get a better sprawl. If you cannot finish your single leg, the answer is not, well, maybe I just won't shoot it. Get a better single leg. All right, here we go. Last one. Okay. All right. So our first drill, or our first skill we're going to talk about is just initial baseline defense. Okay, so what are we gonna do? This is before they get to our leg, this is before, we're trying to just stop the whole thing. All right, so we're working on our down blocks. So those down blocks we did in our shadow wrestling, we're gonna do them right here. So this is what we want. All I want to do is, I want you to get a hold of your partner. You're gonna get a hold of your partner. Armpits. Partner is gonna send the shot. When he sends the shot, so he's gonna get the overtoe penetration. Yeah, so he's gonna take, yeah, so just go to, yeah. So when he goes on that, I'm gonna follow wherever my head was. I'm just gonna drop, I'm gonna keep the top of my head, not my face, the top of my head on the shoulder, hands drop. Hands drop, so that lead leg changes. So partner's going to just shoot a shot toward your lead leg. Toward the lead leg, I want hands are gonna drop hard so I cannot guide my partner into my leg. Okay, so hands have to detach quickly. Head comes down, chest drops down, leg falls back. So coach shoots the shot, boom. And then we're back up. All right, so partner, get them used to it. And with each rep, I want you to build up a little more speed and more speed and more speed. And I want partner doing the down block to start to try to catch the timing. So I want you to get used. So the first couple, we'll start to work, start to catch the timing. A little faster, start to catch the timing. A little faster, start to catch the timing. A little faster, start to catch the timing. All right? So I want 5 shots. Here's how I want the drill to go. One partner, 5 down blocks, down block 5 shots, and then alternate 5 and 5. So we're going 5 and 5. So I want you to build up a little rhythm. Down block, down block, down block, down block, down block. Shake, your turn. You down block, you down block. So 5, 5, 5, 5 until I bring you in. We're going in 5s, not 1 and 1, 5 and 5. Everyone understand the action? Everyone understand the technique? So, hands drop. Couple things to focus on. Shoulders stay in front of hips. Do not get knocked up. Stay strong. Drop. Crunch your belly so that you come down. So if you get knocked back this way. Don't get knocked up. Okay? So rip that hard down block, head in the way, leg goes back. Let's get it. 1, 2. Balance. Balance is king. If you're out of balance, don't do any moves. Find your balance, then begin to wrestle. All right? So do not ever sit or end in a place where you do not have balance. Balance, balance, balance. So let me show you. I don't want this. If coach shoots, I don't have a lot of balance. Okay? Don't end there. I'm going to work my way back into a stance. Work my way back to balance. You don't have to end. We don't wrestle with checkpoints. The move ends and the next move starts instantly. So the next step, the next hand movement, the next pressure, it all happens right away. So I down block, and I'm in a stance. Don't end your down block. You might get here, but then look at my foot. I remove it. No balance. Balance. There's a continuous movement through this drill. I down block. I down block. I down block. Okay? Get your balance back. So, number 2 area where we're losing our balance, we're holding on like they're our life jacket. And then we shoot. They're going under our arms. The point is to get our arms in front of them, not over the top of them. So, Watch this. Don't shoot. I'm not using him for balance. Don't grab a hold of your partner and stumble forward if he disappears. Look, here's my hold, here's my hold. I touch him. If at any moment he moves, I don't touch him. If he doesn't move, I touch him. I don't touch him, I touch him. All right, collar tie, inside ties, wrists, elbows, wherever you touch them, I can let go of them whenever I want. Keep your balance. So make those two adjustments. I want hands, don't chase them. Don't think that you're going to be better off with your legs far away. Balance, I would rather be in balance with my legs closed because I can sprawl. This does me no good. All right? Just because your legs are far away doesn't mean you're better off. Bring your legs with you, have balance. They shoot, you sprawl. They shoot you down low. Always be in athletic position. Never sacrifice balance because you think this is safer. Well, he can't touch my legs. I'm so unathletic, I'm stuck. Just be in your stance. Shoot. Right. All right, let's fix it. 1, 2. All right, really good adjustment. Really good adjustment. All right, so we're gonna add one piece. So again, we're gonna give you more reps in this, getting used to this. We're just gonna add one piece. So here's the piece we're adding. I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna down block. I'm going to come up instead of nothing and reset. I'm gonna come up and get and I'm gonna get a corner. I'm gonna get an angle. I'm gonna go behind. So what we're gonna do is when we're loose, when we're not on top of our partner, when we're loose out front, we're gonna look for short drag. So when our partner shoots, I down block. My hands come out. I instantly cross the cross hand. The cross hand of whatever way I like to circle. If I want to circle right, I'm going to circle right. Left hand comes to opposite armpit. If I want to circle left, right hand comes to opposite armpit. So, Coach Murphy shoots. I down block, I cross grab. And I circle. All right? So, cross grab, I pull, I put my chest pressure on the back of his shoulder. I want to keep his hand down. He shoots, here. And I circle. All right? So we finish our down block. Speed matters now. So if we both are on the same speed, I'm going to lose the action. So if he shoots, I down block, I come up, he comes up, it's equal. So the second I down block, it should look like this. Down block, I come to the armpit as fast as I possibly can. The speed from the hands on the mat to the armpit matters. So you cannot float. I can float my down block, but if I float up here, he's already in. So watch the speed. Get that cross arm. Get that cross arm. So, from here, boom. Yoke them down under your chest. Spin to your takedown. One more with coach. Shoot. Here. Keep them down. Keep them down. That's it. Now we're finishing our action. Down block. Cross armpit, short drag. Let's do it. 1, 2. All right, take a knee. Next progression. So now we're going to just keep going into less and less controlled territory. So you have to have options. The more options you have for more situations, the better you're going to be. So we're just going to keep getting into more. So Obviously, if you can control, if they can never touch your leg, great. But that's not always realistic. The reality is they're gonna touch your leg at some point. So, the next position, after they beat our head and hands, now we're sprawling. Okay, so now we're sprawling. So, first off, we're gonna work on head inside sprawl. And we're gonna work on head outside sprawl. So right now we're working head inside. The partner's gonna shoot a head inside shot, to me, here, this shot. So, once I feel my head and hands got beat, alarms go off, throw my leg back, I hit my sprawl. So same action. We're gonna start with here, partner shoots. Here's my sprawl. So once I sprawl, I try to guide them down. So my sprawl is down and back. I have to make my leg as far away as possible as my chest drops. I do not want to sprawl into them. As cool as it looks to hit them with your hip, it's uncomfortable for a second and then you give up the technique. So this is not what I want. The coach shoots, I don't want to sprawl here. This is, he's in a single. All right? Watch, I want them to go into the black hole that is my hips. And then I want to rip my leg out as far away as I can. So my chest will always be pointing down when I sprawl. Do not point your chest up to sprawl. This is not an effective sprawl. Watch what happens to coach's position here. This is a sprawl. Chest pointing to the mat. All right? So you have to be disciplined. You're going to feel a tug in your low back that makes you want to do this. You have to fight that, and you have to do this. Do not sprawl like this. You sprawl like this. So they send the sprawl head inside shot. I sprawl. So here's what I want. Here's what I want the sprawl. The leg that they shoot to, I'm gonna initially favor that hip for just a second, and then I'm gonna settle into square hips. So don't stay here. I want to show you what I mean. So shoot here. I'm gonna favor this hip for just a second, and then I'm going to slide into square. Don't stay here. Don't try to beat this here for very long. Things can get weird. I just land my sprawl and watch. As I slide down and away, I slide into my both hips pointing to the mat. That little swivel. So I don't climb on them. I don't climb on them. I'm still down and away, but I swivel. This way. Okay? What are my hands doing? Outside hand wraps around my partner's rib cage. Inside hand, I'm looking for their hamstring, which is the back of the meaty part of their leg. Or if my arms are really long, I can reach for an ankle. Partner shoots, I swivel. Ribs, hamstring. Once I'm here, what am I doing? I'm going to peel them apart. I'm going to peel them apart. I'm going to flex my butt, and I'll pull two different directions. So I go from here, and then I get my goal. All right? So everything all together. Partner shoots single leg, head inside. For those of you just making sure. What I mean by inside, this is inside the body. This is outside the body, this is not what we're doing. Inside the body, this is what we're doing. One leg, inside the body. I sprawl. I balance, ribs and hamstring, peel them apart, get our go behind. Here we go. All right, makes sense? Any questions? Let's go, 1, 2. Sticking with our 5 and 5. Sticking with our 5 and 5. This right here is the pin that holds all of defense together, if you do not have a good sprawl, if you don't know how to make your sprawl heavy, it'll be very difficult to do any other defense. Your whizzer will suffer, your sit the corners, this is the balance. Once you learn how to make your sprawl effective, you can branch out into the much more fun and creative and threatening forms of defense. But if you cannot make your hips heavy, you're stuck. If you don't know how to make your hips heavy, you have one task: learn it. Once you learn it, then you can start doing all the other cool stuff. So this is extremely, extremely important. So I want to spend some time with you. Notice my action. I am trying my best to work my leg back. When I make the read, he clears my hands. My legs go back. So some of us are like, all right? It's a time. We're going to work into that. What happens if you totally get juked out and then get your leg? There's a couple different things we're going to use. But the main piece is keep your chest over your partner and your hips back. The further your hips, your back, and your chest rock back, less balance. More balance, less balance. That's where every activity, every set position in any sport is this. This is your power position, right? Basketball, football, track. If you're going to high jump, you're going to do a squat. Nothing is here except limbo. Okay? Except limbo. And I don't know the last time someone asked me how I did in my limbo competition. All right? All right? Everything happens in front of us and under us. This is our power position. If you get knocked out of power position, you have one task. Get back into power position. All right. So that being said, here I started the talk. I started the clinic with this idea that you have to see it and make yourself do it. So here's the first case that I saw. We're back. We have some backwards things. So here I'm going to be very, very specific in what does what. Coach shoes. The leg that they have, that's the side I grab the belly or the ribs. So I saw a lot of this. Coach can still run the backside here. The reason I need this is I got the sprawl. He can still run the backside. But no, this is going to stop. So I sprawl into this, ribs on the same side, hamstring on the opposite side. The next thing is I run away from the lock. I want to extend the armpit here. So some of you are going, get off my leg, run this way. He can put his arm up. That's the leg he shot to. He can grab it again. So I want to, they shot to this leg. I'm going to peel him apart and work off of his leg. Now, the reason he can't grab this is because I have turned over on this shoulder. It's very difficult to get that arm out to grab my leg. So this shoulder's already up. So when my hips turn over, this other one's trapped. So I sprawl and I get my go behind away from the leg they shoot to. So what I mean by that is your sprawl is a continuous direction. Okay? So watch. I sprawl away and I continue to spin that leg. I'm going to twist them out. All right? So lock it in. Figure this pressure out. Let's go do it. 1, 2.
You're good. Me too. Great. On the seaboard.
So, similar idea a little different. But before, we're gonna move to head outside shots. But before, so this is another little fix, so as we move on, make the adjustment. Make sure you're going to your grips. Use your hands as soon as possible. Your hands can make you heavy. That's the only piece of the puzzle that can make you heavier than you are. The position of your weight and your arms, right? I can't be heavier than I am. I weigh 250 pounds. Like, what do I do? Like 270. Like, I can't sit on a scale and go, gain 20 pounds, right? So, but the reality is my position, so just being single, my position on coach can make me feel heavier, right? So I'm 250, ready? I'm 250. Coach can lift me. I'm still 250. I didn't get any lighter, but watch this. I'm 250. Lift me up, coach. Very difficult. So the position on the head, and then this. I'm 250, not using my arms. He can move the corner. He can get to the corner. He can move. He can change the pressure. I'm 250. Move, coach. Right? That's the game. Get your hands in the right place. Start to move your hands. So some of us are coming back here, pushing, and then that's not, if you do this, that's an opportunity for your opponent to suck your leg. So do not sprawl. You missed it. You sucked my leg in. Right to it. The whole point of this is they beat your arms. Do not bring your arms back. What do we say about power position? It's under us. If I do this, I stand straight up. I never come back under my hips. Trust your hips. That's the strongest part of your body. Trust me. Your hips don't need your hands to make them heavy. If I do this, it's worse. I'm much better off just hipping in than reaching under my hips and trying to bulk. This actually makes me lighter. Trust your hips. So, watch, when I sprawl, my hands go right to the place. My hands go right to the place. I don't do a couple of these, and a couple of these, and then was it this and hamstring? I don't play that game. The sooner I can lock in, watch, on my sprawl, as I'm falling into my sprawl, my hands, instantly. Okay? Get your hands in the right place. So, head outside. Similar, couple changes. Here it is. Put your head outside. Let's go high crunch. When I sprawl, so I'm still going to sprawl the exact same idea. Remember how I sprawled in and then I swiveled? But instead of sprawling on coach's head, this time my sprawl is on shoulder. So watch what I do. I'm gonna put a hand under my rib cage so I can control the head. And I'm going to start, here's my sprawl. So I'm going to start, once I sprawl, my chest pointing down, my hand goes from head to ribs. Once I sprawl, my hand goes from head to ribs. Inside hand, this time goes from ribs to hamstring. So here's my set. I'm going to catch, my sprawl happens like this. Sprawl, and when I turn my hips over, watch, I climb out, ribs and hamstring. So now, my initial sprawl is kind of on his neck. My ending sprawl turns over on his shoulder. And as I turn over, this one that was reaching back, I no longer need it. It goes to ribs. This one goes to hamstring or ankle. And now, I peel them apart, and I run toward it. Same idea. Coach attacked my left leg. I run away from the leg that he attacked. So here we go. I notch him down. Here it is. You pull apart. And let go. So, very similar, but just understand, our main pressure now is on the shoulder, not the neck. I guide him down. Big, really important hands here, because head outside, because there's nothing on the head, you have to quickly distribute your weight, but there's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of crackdowns, there's a lot of pull-ins, and we'll get into that stuff if we have time, but the main piece is, if you want the baseline sprawl, this has to happen fast. If I don't get my hands in place, even if I get one of these, coach can suck me in and put me on my butt. This is a different wrestling position. That's a crackdown. So I have to quickly get my hands and hips over the shoulder. Now, no crackdown. No way. Boom, heel apart. Get my go line. So now, partner, notice the adjustment. We're shooting our high crotch. We're shooting our head outside. One more quick one of these. This is head inside, head outside. This is the shot we're defending now. The sprawling on the shoulder. Let's do it. 1, 2. All right. This is a very important adjustment. So, as important as it is to know how to sprawl, it's just as important to know when to delay your sprawl, how to stay heavy. So in this moment, some of us are going like this. Coach shoots head outside. This isn't it, all right? So, there's no way you're going to just look down at someone, push them down, and they're just going to melt off your leg. If they do, trust me, you don't need any other new moves to beat that person. You're probably going to beat that person anyway. This is, you cannot shove down. You're not going to be in very good balance here. I have to rip my leg out with my hips. So notice, when I come here, it's not just down to infinity. I'm getting my chest down because that's the position to sprawl. So chest comes down, this is a sprawl. Here's my sprawl. Now I turn over. So, get yourself into this mode. Push, sprawl, turn over. Those 3 things are the most important pieces of the puzzle. Watch. Down, out, turn. Down, leg out, turn over on their shoulder. Down, out, turn. Okay? So some of us are, even if your partner shoots a lazy shot, which they shouldn't, but some of our partners are shooting down toward around our knee.
If he doesn't go out, he can't turn it, right?
Yeah.
So you can't skip that step. Some of you guys are trying to turn and then go out.
Yes.
Right? You're getting extended. Then once he turns, see my hands pop there. Right? But if he just turns right here and I'm still tight, then now it's gonna be hard for him to even go out. Now we're in a different position again.
That's exactly it. That's the point I'm trying to make. Don't get your go behind until you win the position. Same thing here. Some of us are even getting here, and we're driving in, and we just can't get this lock broke. It's not in. I don't want to climb up onto coach. That's going to help coach. If I climb up onto coach, we're back. We're back. I want to bear down. What are our 2 pressures for defense?
Down and back.
Down and back.
Yeah, I like that.
That's it. So watch. Belly and hips create down, legs create back. So watch. This is not back. This is forward. Coach doesn't feel any other pressure. Now watch what I do if I start to go back. Watch my legs. Down, watch my legs. Lots of pressure on his shoulder. Lots of pressure. When I start to sink back, it can be very simple. No pressure on his shoulder. Lots of pressure on his shoulder.
It is a little bit. You're not joking.
Right?
No, it's good. I'm just saying. I mean, I can hold on to anything I want. You don't have.
So make sure, so definitely I saw this group over here. You had the position really well. Some people are gonna have gumby shoulders, some people are gonna have a long grip. If you do not learn how to settle them, if you just try to like go behind them and they'll hold on for days, they'll stalemate this all day. You have to learn to settle them and then slowly rip your leg out of their grip. All right? So, down, back, turn your hips over, finish your go behind. Head outside, a couple more minutes. 1, 2.
Now, guys, keep it up.
So, next position that I want to talk about is what if, so I saw this happen a couple times, so this is head inside or head outside. We'll just talk about each one. There's just one real small difference between the two, so go ahead inside. So let's say we get a sprawl and we flatten them to their belly. And so what ends up happening is I fall on top of them, and now, no matter how much hips I give, I can't unlock it. And I can't grab the hamstring, and I can't grab the belly, and I can't rip them apart. And so we're kind of, I don't know what to do. So here's what we got. If they fall to their belly, and you lose your grips, and you feel like you fall on top of them, and now your pressure's all out of whack, here's where we're going. Boom. I'm instantly going, they're in on this leg. I'm going to put my opposite elbow on the side, on the hip, the side they have my leg. Then I'm going to lean and rip this lock clear. And circle for my table. Okay? So anytime, if they're on their knees, we have our pressures, ribs and hamstring. If they fall, I'm not just gonna start pushing, and then he pops up real quick and gets my leg up. I'm not gonna play that game. I'm gonna keep my pressure on him, but I'm also not gonna stalemate him. Right leg, left elbow, hip, lean, reach back, help. I'm going to straighten my leg. I'm going to put a little tension. But the big tension is going to be when I grab elbow and pull shoulders to the ceiling. And now I'm going to break his lock by ripping my leg out. So right where his lock is, wham, kick through that thing. So I don't want to be on his forearm. That's why I'm going to pull his elbow to where the back of my knee is right in his hands. And now, wham, and get my safety. The only thing we do different on head outside is we turn it into a head inside. So head outside, I tried to get this, it didn't work. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to march, so go ahead outside and get up. I'm going to get on my tippy toes, and I'm going to march over his head until he slips his head inside. So it looks like this. And now, guess where we're going? Opposite elbow, hip, rip. Okay? So it's not as effective if you try it. If you don't get the head inside, depending on how good this person's grip is and how flexible their shoulders are, if you go straight to it, they can sit here and you can kind of hack at this for a while. So I just think you're better off just turning it into a head inside and ripping it. Right? So, partner, give them that distinct feel. Do not let, when they sprawl, hold on for dear life. Do not let your lock slip. Do not let your lock break. Ride the position all the way to your belly and try to get a stalemate. Right? So we shoot. Coach Bob feels my initial good pressure. He bellies out, I fall forward. He's laughing. Haha, I got the stalemate. No way. Gotcha. All right, let's go do it. 1, 2.
So I finally did it.
We're getting into, so now I want to, before we get into, we're gonna finish up a couple more rounds of that drill, but I want to intermittently, I want to sprinkle in some technique, and I want to continue from our defensive progression. So we want to be able to attack our defense like it's our position. Just stopping them from getting a takedown, that's incomplete. You want to be able to attack your defense. You want to be excited when someone's in on your leg, because that's just another way to score points. All right, so you always want to create your progression of your defense to score. To score. So here's one of my favorite. I think it's one of the most creative scrambles in wrestling. That's when we start to cradle people from the leg technique. All right, so we're going to start head inside, and we got the sprawl. So we got the sprawl. Boom. Here, we have this position. So from here, what we're looking for, I want to, so now, once I have the sprawl, I'm going to let my hips go a little bit. So I went from heavy sprawl, and I'm going to feed him my leg a little bit, and now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put my outside knee right outside the back of his arm. And I'm going to shove the knee that he's holding into his body. So it looks like this. Lift it up. There's no space. I'm not doing this. In. Along with that, as this knee comes down, this elbow, I'm going to reach as far under his hamstring as I can. I'm going to try to get my elbow as deep as I can. And I'm going to lock my hands under his belly. So watch here. Got it. So from here, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to change knees. So now I'm going to drive off of the knee I'm on, onto the other knee, and I'm going to put his butt down on the mat. Here. I'm going to let go of the belly, jump over the arm, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to sink the cradle. Here's our cradle. How do we finish? We're going to lift the leg up, step in the middle, and slowly go to our forehead and corkscrew the shoulders. All right? So, from our baseline sprawl, we're going to come collect. So this is really important. I got to get elbows deep. The closer you are on his hips, the worse it's going to be. You want to be down near the knee. So watch how low my shoulders get. This one. And when I come up, watch me put his head down by slamming his knee. And I'm going to pick his knee up off the mat. Here. If I'm here, if he puts his knee back down, it all starts over. So I'm going to collect his knee and pick it up. Then I'm going to slam the side of his body, but I'm not going to climb on top of him. Same thing. If I slam him and climb on top of him, we're back in a scramble. I'm going to slam him, and I'm going to sit on my own heels. So I catch, I'm going to sit and watch. Not here. I'm going to sit back. And see this little opening that starts to come open? That's where I sneak in my cradle. Step in the middle. Pace the shoulders to the mat. All right? So, once you feel it, it's a pretty natural progression. That's how you move. You just have to make sure the first couple times you're very, very meticulous on. It's not about the lock. I want to lock my hands, yes. But what does the work is my elbows. It's all about elbows. Elbow squeeze, throw his butt down, bring your chest back to get your cradle. All right, so we start with body cradle. Body cradle is ribs cradle. And we throw his butt away. I want to throw his butt as far as I can and keep his head and knee. There. Sneak in the cradle, step to the center. All right? So, let's start in that position, cradling off leg attack. Cradling out of your sprawl. 1, 2. We're losing a little bit of focus. All right, I stood over a couple groups and I said, head inside shot, head inside shot, head inside shot. And I said it over and over, and as I was saying it, the partner, they're hearing head inside shot, head inside shot, head inside shot, and it landed here. So that's just loss of focus, right? That's just not listening. So if someone's standing over the top, you say head inside shot, and you go head outside shot. At that point, who cares, right? It's no longer what you know, your experience, your athleticism. It's just focus. You're losing focus. So hold it together. Hold it together. Not much more. We're going to rev up again here in a second. I just want to get this. I want to get 2 positions off this cradle. The baseline, and then what happens if you can't get them cracked to their head. So head inside shot. We sprawl single leg. Once you beat the first momentum, I'm going to feed him my knee, and I'm going to come get him with this. My knees are going to attack him. So you cannot cradle and sprawl. If you try to cradle and sprawl, his head will pop out, and you'll lose your position. So the second you start to cradle, watch me fling my knees in. Okay? So opposite, the leg that they have, and opposite elbow should be drifting toward each other. There's a lot of pressure. You're trying to touch this to this. And obviously you're not going to touch because there's a human there. But there should be a lot of pressure between this elbow and that knee. They're trying to touch. They're trying to touch. With that, now, when I throw his hip down, I throw his hip away. So a lot of pressure has to happen. I gotta close this chicken wing. I gotta close this armpit. See this space? When I throw their butt away, this closes. That's how I keep the cradle. Just twist the other way. Just 180 turn on your knees. Here, just shoot single leg this way. So right here. Watch how he keeps. This is where we're losing it. Watch. You're trying to throw him up. Wants the cradle. I'm throwing him away. Chicken wings. There's the cradle. There's the cradle. There's the cradle. Lost the cradle. Got the cradle. Okay? That's the technique. Chicken wings. So, hit, feed it, send it. Got the cradle. Take my time. His head pops out. Boom. Got it. See it. All right. So, partner, shoot the right shot. Let's make that adjustment. Close those armpits. 1, 2.
You know, concept that you can find cradle from anywhere, for your counter offense.
Right. I'm telling you, this.
If you go,
So many people. This is. If you recognize cradle, you'll be able to pin a lot of people. Get a lot of that. All right. A lot of times, there's so many opportunities to cradle when from extended leg attack people. All right. So one quick trick. Ready? Before we move on to the next position, then we'll start to run up again. Coach shoots. Let's throw. Coach sits on his heels. Again. So if some people can sit all the way down on their heels, coach cannot. So I'm gonna pretend like I can't if I cannot get my arm under here, right? If I cannot get my arm under here, here's the trick. So if you can't get your arm under, all I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna grab the bottom of the shoe and I'm gonna just slide it. That's it. So I'm gonna lean just like I'm cradling, but if I can't do this yet, I'm gonna do this, open the gap, and then I'm just gonna put them down to cradle. Okay? So, you want me to do something else for this one? I'm gonna forward roll you.
I mean, I might be too big, push everyone want to get forward roll or whatever.
And I can do, I just don't want you to.
Well, I didn't know if I just.
Alright.
That was supposed to be forward. Forward roll, backward roll.
All right, so
Roll one.
here's what happens. Once you get into this position, some people are just strong. So the reality is, you can't hit every move on every one at any time. There's time windows to hit moves. There's certain body shapes the moves work on, right? It's all a smorgasbord. You gotta find your opening. So there's time to create. So coach shoots in, single leg, I put him down, I try to do this, and he starts to rip his leg out, he starts to do this kind of stuff, he's really strong, I'm not feeling it. So he's kind of a barrel down here. He's tabled up, I can't knock him off. Every time I try to gather this leg, he kicks it straight, and it's like, I can't get gathered barrel. Here's how I'm gonna force it. Ready? We're gonna grab it, and now what we're gonna do is instead of putting him this way, all I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into a hurdler stretch. So this is one of the hurdler stretch. You guys ever seen this stretch?
Yeah.
Okay? This is the stretch. This is a ninja kick. This is a hurdler stretch. If you ninja kick, you will get taken down. If you hurdler stretch, you have a chance to cradle. Give up 2 points, pin them and end the match. Okay? Very important. I am going all the way across to the butt cheek of the leg that they're holding. Ninja kick puts you on the wrong butt. So let me show you. If I try to get coach to cradle, and I ninja kick him, he's gonna run the corner, he's gonna put me on my hip, and I'm gonna sink this way. Now watch, here's the actual move. We're going here. I'm going to corkscrew myself. I'm gonna lift up, watch this. I'm gonna lift and put my heel on the mat. I'm gonna lift and put my heel on the mat. From here, I'm gonna flex my leg, I'm gonna make it straight. And my toe is gonna go from pointing at my opponent, and it's just gonna follow a trajectory all the way up to the ceiling and to the back wall as I go to hurdler stretch. I'm gonna suck them into my lap, and I make them do a forward roll. From here, I follow, and here we are. I did the whole go around just to get this moment, to get this great. So, hurdler stretch, big piece of the puzzle. Number 2, I do not pull my opponent on top of me. I want to watch them do a forward roll over my leg. It looks like this. From here to here. From here to here. Not from here to here. From here to here. And all I do, it's a circle. Once you do it once, you'll understand what I mean. It's a pretty natural movement. Once I do this, I throw them across. The second my opponent's feet leave the mat, I let go with the ribs here. I put it on the mat, I bear down on the knee, I let their butt fly away, and I just follow my way up to my knees. So, it looks complex. Once you get it once, you'll understand. Here, straighten, wrestle, watch. I let go. If I do not let go, he straightens his leg, we're in a scramble. If I do not let go, problems. If I let go, great. So right here, I just get my hips, I hip heist up, slam my cradle, step in the middle, shoulders to the middle. Okay? So, the position is this. If you find yourself changing directions, No. Here it is, ready? All one big circle. Sit, crunch, forward roll. Great. Okay? Let's see who can get it. 1, 2. Not too bad, right?
I just know I'm drunk, so.
You're the one that- you've been doing this for 3 hours.
I mean, I wouldn't find it, I didn't know.
One partner is shooting, the other partner right here. For 1 minute. Eyes on me, eyes on me. For 1 minute, we're down blocking and spinning. Partner shoots, snap. Down block and spin. Snap. All right, 1 minute, one partner. Defensive focus. In a stance, set.
Keyboard this.
Go ahead.
Go! Down block and spin, down block and spin.
They're already on that side. You got that side blocked.
There's no blocks, so you can swallow, right? You never see you go behind. Go behind. Yeah, this is for you to figure out.
It's a little more high pitch. Time! Other partner, same drill. The first thing we learned today. We're gonna take our leg back. And we're gonna spin behind them. Don't let them touch your leg. Don't let them touch your leg. Here we go. 1 minute. Set. Go!